Hey y'all, welcome to the Realm Studio. I'm Paula, and let's see, I'm not real sure what we're going to be doing today, but I've just had my birthday. It was a very good day. I have a lot to be thankful for, and I got a couple of gifts, which I can't show you because I'm not set up with a camera, just a screen share. But I got Learn Clip Studio Paint 2nd Edition by Liz Staley and The Animator's Eye by Francis. Alright, how do we pronounce this? Glebas. Glebas? Where do we put the accent in his name? Anyway, I wanted The Animator's Eye because it looked like a college level textbook that uh, encompasses everything about animation. And I got Learn Clip Studio Paint because even though I've been working with Clip Studio for a while now, I still don't know everything about it, and I do not do well with YouTube tutorials. I would like to just open the book, have the page, and be able to reread it as many times as I need. You just can't do that. Okay, so today I've got, this is the background here is the kind of weird coloring thing. Let's see. Um, oh, that looks interesting when you take out the lines. With the, let's see, I used the new update, the Colorize Technology Preview, use Hint, Image, and Colorize, and it just decided that this all was appropriate, which I don't know. I mean, the trees are odd. I'm not sure what it's going by, and I'm not certain that that's going to be covered in this book because the book came out in December. And I think they've come out with this since then. But it was an interesting experiment. And I do kind of like, let me click that back on again. I do like the red leaves a lot that popped up in some of these areas. I like the sense of distance that we get. But I don't know that that's right for what I want to do. I mean, generally, red kind of pops forward. And I don't know that that's what I want to do with it. So what I'm going to be looking at is page 375, creating flats using the bucket fill and paint unfilled area tools. So I haven't figured out everything that I need to know about this program yet. Let's see. Referring layer. Gotcha. Alright, so this one here with the lighthouse selected on it is the reference layer. And I can click that off easily. But I think I'm going to want that to stay on. Alright, so we want to select the bucket fill tool, refer other layers. Okay, that's already checked. And the tool property palette. Alright, where is it? There we are. Refer other layers. We want find the multiple referring options. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what all these symbols are. We are going to learn this today. Ensure that the area scaling box is checked. Right, which of those is it? Oh, this is the area scaling one. Which of these are we talking about though? Alright, the reference layer icon. That's right. Mm-hmm. If there are any gaps, check the box next to close gap. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I do have some kind of wide gaps. Right, so click on the areas of the drawing. Wait a minute. Okay, there's my flats layer. Right, so that's doing pretty well. There are a few little artifacts, but that's not bad. Okay, I may not need to close the gaps quite so much on some of these smaller trees in the background. Okay, so that's not too different than the way I've been doing things. Whoops. Okay, now if I go back with the gap, with the closed gap thing, all the way over on the right, then it stops it from filling in all this with color. So I know flats are not terribly exciting, and most of it is more clicking than line art. So let's see, do I want to put warm colors in the background? That's the question. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to fill in a lot of blue sky back here. And then I'll have some perspective on how much else needs to be filled in. A little bit darker. Um, oops. So, yeah, that's not bad at all. Ah! Might need to fill that in a little more. Sometimes I do use the pen and draw an outline of the same color, but sometimes that doesn't work. Let me see. Ah! When did that happen? Oh yeah, I think I accidentally right-clicked. Well, that would be handy to know. So let me see. So I got to go visit my parents today, which was nice. It's always good to go catch up. And we were all talking about um, different kinds of technology and fads and stuff that's it kind of proved that the more things change, the more they stay the same. Uh, we I had my kids with me, and I had the clone. He's almost 14, and I had Miss Chaos, and she's chaotic as usual. And we were having a good chat. And my mom had bought a rotary phone, like literally a dial phone. And so I wanted my son to do the dial the phone challenge, which it might be a little bit out of date, but I was pretty sure he had not yet seen or found out how to use a dial-up phone. So I wanted to see how he would handle it. Now he's really smart and very mechanical minded. So I was interested to see what would happen. We had to keep telling Pop not to give him tips. And so he picked it up and he looked at it a bit. He's like, okay, so I need to take it off the hook. All right. And in a couple minutes, he'd figured out the right way to dial the number. So he succeeded at the the rotary phone challenge. So that's always a fun one to do if you have relatives or if you happen to know how a rotary phone is meant to be dialed. You can always challenge some people who've never seen one before in their lives. And so my mom was telling them about the party line, which all the phones on a street in a neighborhood or so would be connected, and uh, each person on the party line would have a specific sequence of rings that they would know to pick up the phone when it was for them. Or if you wanted to be evil, you or super nosy. Oh, I didn't expect all that to fill in. Hey, that did good. Um, you could listen in on your neighbor's phone calls if you were careful enough. Or if you all wanted to talk together, you could, arrange for a time to talk together, and then everybody just pick up the phone at the same time and everyone talk. And so the clone is like, oh, it's like Skype. And we started talking about how people are the same. Like the technology is different, but we still use it for the same things. Then we started talking about, since we had just done the rotary phone challenge, we started talking about challenges. And we're like, well, we may not, my dad remembered something. They may not have been dumb enough to eat laundry detergent, but there was a fad going on for a while there that was swallowing live goldfish. That's just wrong, y'all. So, yeah, humans will be humans. And honestly, the more you think about it, the weirder people are. Humans gonna human. Anyway, that was a fun time. And let's see, we're getting pretty close here on some of the background. I am still kind of wondering if I ought to do these leaves in the back a warmer color, because I did really like the red. I mean, it was kind of weird that the red showed up, but it did end up looking kind of pretty. Okay, so the other thing, let's see, I've been pretty familiar with using the bucket fill tool, but I don't think that the bucket fill is going to work very well on these tiny little, oops, on these tiny little leafy things, because it will stop in the gaps. Okay, so paint unfilled area tool, color margin option. No, that's not it. Alright, hang on while I read. I really needed to have cleaned out my desk, and I have not done it yet. So let's see. So it does say how to get rid of those little white spots, little artifacts like right here. Select the Paint Unfilled Area tool there. Area scaling option, just check that. It says ensure the reference layer icon is selected in the multiple referring option. All layers, reference layer, okay. And make a stroke with the tool over one of the unfilled areas in the color layer. Oh, look at that. There it went. So, if I take a blue, so it's looking bright green. Huh. So it's only filling in this small area. How is this doing it? Okay, so making the brush bigger made it fill in more. And look at that, it stays in the lines really well. Alright, so that is how to use the Paint Unfilled Area tool. Oh, look at that, it says treat pale transparent as transparent. Oh dear. Color margin. So check the area scaling, check the multiple referring, and enlarge the brush size if you're only painting tiny bits of color and you'd rather paint something a little bigger. Okay, so that's really going to help me with things like plants, honestly. I can totally see the application for lots of plants. Plants are tough because to make them look reasonably plant-like, you have to have a lot of little bits and pieces, and they just don't fill in well. And I don't really like zooming in and making my screen gigantic in order to work with it. Okay, so let's see, that's a little too dark. Okay, so let's experiment with this some more. So I've changed the color to the lime green dark, and I'm scribbling right over some of these blue areas. But since they're already blue, they're not changing. And because I'm keeping the brush size small, I don't know, some of them are changing. If I paint a whole lot at once, it will change some of them. I am kind of wondering why this one's not changing. So I think I just have it set too small. Oh look, area is surrounded by black. Okay, that sort of depended on where I set the pen. So there, I'll just go with transparent because most of it is. Okay, there's something I'm not quite grasping with it. Hmm. So I think I think really all I need to do is practice with it and see what it will and won't do. Okay, so here I have only white and transparent. And I'm trying to fill in the space in between these things that I've already colored. Which is somewhat working. It's possible that the reason it's not filling in closer to my main figures is because the line art is on two different layers. So I have the foreground and the background. So yeah, that's an interesting aspect of the tool. Yep, I've already learned something new, and it's been like the first thing that I looked up. I did see a tutorial that described doing this before, but I just have difficulty with it because I can't stop the tutorial and, well, I mean, I guess I could, but it's a lot of going back and forth because a lot of times people just run through it so fast. I suppose they're assuming that you can always just stop and rewind it if they've gone too fast, but that's annoying. Okay, so let me see. Refer other layers. Finish doing some of, oh, whoops, forgot that again. Um, Let me use the pen and close this gap. My line art got a little sloppy on this guy. Okay, now back to the bucket fill tool and, oop, back on my flats layer and, no, it's still doing it. Well, that's odd. Hang on. Make that the referring layer and click on it now. Well, now this is a mess. Let me see. Paint unfilled area. I'll want kind of a biggish brush for that. Oh, wait. It is a filled area, though. So, nope. That's not going to do it. So, probably what I'm going to have to do is, whoops. Hang on, I got to go back out of this. Alright, so probably what I'm going to have to do is go ahead and merge my two layers of line art, which I kind of didn't want to do in case I wanted to change the backgrounds later. But, well, what can you do? See, that gets rid of all the little artifacts and stuff. Now, I really wish that I had learned that a little earlier because that was really aggravating. See, look here, there's another one. I'm speechless, y'all. That was easy. Good gracious, I have been doing things the hard way. Let's see, there's a few more artifacts over here. Pick a good size for filling them in. Nope, nope. Why isn't that filling in? I don't know, I have to come back to that. Maybe it's the wrong reference layer. Yep, that was it. Wrong reference layer. I am going to have to condense my files. Okay, so I go ahead and merge my line art. Merge with layer below. There, now all my line art is on one layer. I hope you're happy, program. And now we're going to turn the lighthouse back on. Why is it a lighthouse? That's what I would like to know. Why is it a lighthouse for reference? That's interesting. That's still not filling in. Wow, that did too much. Alright. So the other book that I got, The Animator's Eye by Francis, cannot pronounce his last name properly. I'm really looking forward to getting more into that one. I've already found out something very valuable, which is the production workflow for an animated feature. I'm not really planning on doing any features, but I am interested in doing a series. Now, I'm not at all planning on, creating a comic and then like finding somebody to sell it to. No, no, I love my story too much. And I've also seen what people are like uh, with intellectual property. In short, they're just terrible. Maybe we should just leave it at that. Yeah, look at all these things I know how to fill in now. Okay, so yeah, the way people are is they're always looking to make their mark. And they are happy to make their mark using your work. Some people seem to prefer that. So if you're a good writer and you've got a good story going on. Oh, hello. Thank you. So yeah, if you're a good writer and you have a good story, then good gracious. Still getting the hang of this tool. So hello to a name I can't pronounce. Poll someone on Twitch. Thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by. Um, but yeah, if you're a good writer and you have a good story on your hands and you go and find somebody who's going to produce it and you think, well, that's it, your job's over, they're going to take good care of it. No, they won't. They are going to use your story to make themselves look like I don't know, something. They've got to put their own stamp on it. Honestly, I had a cruder way to say it, but I'd rather not on stream. Um, oh yeah, I'm using Clip Studio Paint, the EX version, which the part that I'm using is essentially the same as Clip Studio Pro. EX does have more animation features, which I don't know how to use yet, but I will. I will. I just got a book to help me learn this. Let's see. There it went. This time the bucket fill has worked. So yeah, I just had my birthday. It was a great day, and I got two main presents. One of which is the second edition of Learned Clip Studio Paint by Liz Staley, and that's what I'm going by because I have the worst time trying to follow along with tutorials, like video tutorials. It's just difficult because I always want to double check and make sure that I'm working at I have the right thing checked off or whatever it is. And I really hate having to stop a video and go back and find what the name of it was that they said and all that. So I'm I'm really excited to have a book now that I can just refer back to. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. This is being a little stubborn. I'm not quite sure which setting to use to fill in these areas sometimes. But so far so good. This is going to save me so much time because this is a scene from, well, it's not actually from a specific time in my comic yet, but it is my two main characters having a moment. And I'm having the line art done by the Mia Pet. She's also on Twitch. And I just really love her work, especially for the story. Oh, thank you, autosave. The flat colors just look so much like the Smurfs right now. That's hilarious. Let's see. I wanted a darker shade of green for back in here. Not for all of that. So yeah, she's doing the line art, and then I will be working on coloring it. And it's, what she's working on right now is issue 2. So I'm really looking forward to getting in there and doing the colors and getting a little further along um, on this story, because I mean, I'm just, nothing happened for a second here. There it goes. I'm really excited because it's a 10 issue series that I have planned. But that's that's kind of ambitious. I don't care who you are. That 10 issues is pretty ambitious. So I'll be doing everything that I can, and coloring takes a long time. So I've been practicing, and what I wanted for my birthday was essentially college level textbooks, so I can learn how to do a nice professional job of coloring and hopefully do it a little faster, because I would hate to be the one holding up the project. So I'm planning on running a Kickstarter in March just for pre-orders, because I only hire work done when I have all the budget entirely set aside to pay for it. So Mia's in good shape, but I'm still going to need the funds to print it and ship it. So that's why I'll be running a Kickstarter or Indiegogo or some sort of crowdfund. Yeah, it is surprisingly difficult to stay on topic and talk about one thing at a time, especially while drawing. Okay, so that was still on the other thing. Alright, that's better. So I do still have a few artifacts in here too. Okay, so I think I've got all my flaps done. Let's turn on the view, fit that to the screen. Alright, so there's my scene of Becca and Torrin from my comic Soulbound, which is about a pragmatic med student who isn't going to let a few nightmares stop her from graduating college and going on to med school and so on. However, when she gets thrown through a portal to the realm that she's been having nightmares about, her plans suddenly change. I did have this pulled up somewhere, but it's gone now. Computer had a restart today. So, you can look up, let me see, if you'd like to learn more about my characters. Let's see, come on, boot up. There you go. If you'd like to learn more about my characters and my stories, then you can visit otherrealmstudio.com. Check out my portfolio. There's a whole slideshow. Whole slideshow up here. I also have a newsletter. I take art commissions. And there's my comic, Soulbound, Issue 1 Adrift, available now. And we're working on Issue 2 as we speak. So I have signed limited edition print copies available on my website here on the Shop Comics and More page. I also have hatchable dragon egg kits. And if you'd rather read a digital version, I also have it for Kindle on Amazon. So all you have to do is, kind of hard to share the link because it won't let me cut and paste into the chat, but if you just look up Paula Richey or Soulbound Adrift, then you should be able to find it in the Kindle store. Also, I have a short story in the anthology Paragons, edited by Morgan Newquist and published by Silver Empire Press. And I will be having an entire superhero novel, possibly a trilogy, also put out by Silver Empire Press. Sometime. It's in editing. But it's looking good. The publisher tells me things are going great. But yeah, check out my site, check out my work. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop by. And I'm also on Twitch and YouTube, and I'm on Restream, and I am supposed to be on Facebook Live, but I think something broke in my settings. So let's see. Next time, I think I'm going to go in and do some shadows. Let's see. Let's hide that. That looks interesting. So next time I'll be doing some shading. That'll be fun. I stream from 8:45 to should be 9:30, but I'm running a little late tonight. And I meant to drink my tea. Now it's gone cold. Yeah, on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I take off Wednesdays and weekends. And we talk about life, philosophy. Well, my philosophy anyway. And peace, joy, and spreading hope. Or, yeah, spreading peace, joy, and hope. That's what I feel like I'm here to do. And so my stories are not those depressing, subversive sorts of stories. They're the stories that, while things may seem very dark at times, and while crazy and difficult to deal with things happen, I also want to leave my readers with a feeling of hope for tomorrow and with a means of dealing with evil when it intrudes upon their lives. There's always hope. There's always something that can be done. And right, so until next time, have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the other realm. Good night.